Hi, this is Sean Costello, and this is Persuasive Speech 3. And this is my audience. My wonderful, wonderful audience. Each year, the livestock sector globally produces 586 million tons of milk, 124 million tons of poultry, 91 million tons of pork, and 59 million tons of cattle. That's about 285 million tons of meat altogether, which is about 80 pounds per person, if it were divided evenly. However, it's not. Americans eat about 270 pounds of meat a year, which is about 3/4 of a pound every year. And this is from the New York Times, and it's a very staggering statistic. We as a society eat way too much meat. It is detrimental to our planet, our wallets, and our health. I myself am a vegetarian. I have been able to function properly and be very healthy by not eating meat. I get asked a lot of questions, however, about being a vegetarian. Why do I eat meat? Why don't I eat meat? Is it because I stand up for animal rights? Or how do I get enough protein? And these are some of the questions that I would like to answer and educate you all about the impacts of eating meat and maybe inspire you to eat less meat. By eating meat, you'll be reducing your greenhouse gas emissions because of methane, which is an off-gassing from livestock. Eating less meat also reduces the amount of antibiotics that enter into your body, which in turn makes you healthier. Eating less meat is also more economical because it's cheaper. Eating less meat can help our environment because meat is a huge environmental concern, and I'm talking about livestock. Methane is the worst off-gassing in our environment, even more than CO2. Animal fecal matter, which is cow poop, is methane, and the methane is trapped in our greenhouse gas emissions. Methane traps about 100 times more heat than CO2, making it a much more lethal gas emission to our environment. Livestock, which contributes to the most amount of methane emissions, as you can see from the EPA, about 60% of methane comes from human activities, and about 36% of that is from either manure management or poop. Eating less meat can help us reduce global warming because you're reducing the amount of methane from livestock that is off-gassing it into our environment. Eating less meat can also help your health. Many of the meats that we eat today are filled with antibiotics, which try to prolong the health of the animal. U.S. News reported that in 2012, more than 32.2 million pounds of antibiotics are used in animals, compared to that 7.2 million pounds of medicine that are used in humans. Now, I think this is wrong because it's a staggering statistic that that we fill animals with more antibiotics than humans. And then, of course, those antibiotics that we fill the animals with are then ingested into our bodies, making us more antibiotic immune, which makes it harder for us to fight infections and also diseases. Antibiotics also increase unhealthy growing in animals, in which nutrients and meat are lost. As you can see from this image, we have two chickens, one from 1950 and one from 2008. In the 1950, it's obviously much smaller compared to the 2008. That's partially because of antibiotics. But what you don't see is the fact that this chicken has less nutrients than that chicken due to the antibiotics and growth hormone. Eating less meat is also more economic, as buying meat at a restaurant or supermarket in general costs more than other vegetables or goods. You can see from this chart that somebody has priced out a regular meal eating either a meat eater or vegetarian or even a vegan. And you can see the price difference as it's $2.45 for a meat eater compared to $2.25 for vegetarian for breakfast. I mean, there's just simple numbers, and it's showing that it is much cheaper to eat veggies than it is to eat meat. This is because meat has a high embodied energy value due to the materials and resources that are needed to grow the animals. Food for the animals is very expensive. Water consumption is also very high in most animals. Anywhere from 6 to 13 gallons of water per day are needed to sustain cattle, says Beef Magazine. Now this is, I just think, wrong, because we could take those 16 to 13 gallons and use them in agriculture or use them for us to drink. Medicine and antibiotics are also very expensive for animals as well, which values back into the embodied cost. By not eating meat, you have the ability also to choose more nutritious vegetables and goods. You can pick different things that you might not have been able to pick because you didn't have enough money to buy them before because you were buying meat. So in conclusion, eating less meat can help our environment. It can help our health, and it can help your pocket. By eating less meat, you're reducing methane emissions, which helps reduce global warming due to greenhouse gases. Eating less meat can help your health by not ingesting antibiotics and eating more nutritious food. Eating less meat is also more economic because it's cheaper for you and helps your pocket. Our society should eat less meat because it is an unsustainable system that is harmful to our environment. Eat less meat because it is helpful to our environment and our health and your savings. Thank you very much for listening. And this is my audience. My wonderful audience. Thank you so much.